Good evening, good evening, good evening again, folks. Welcome to tonight's final front load and another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. All right, let's get straight to it. Folks, in the description box, if you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or with the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article. Share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the Judge Rotenberg Center actually sees through with their threat. Trigger warning 1, we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues, and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and utilize the headphones. Number 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is advised. All right, background information about ESDs, SIB, and AB. A comment states the FDA's characterization of behaviors associated with SIB or AB is broadly true, but does not adequately convey the extreme behaviors exhibited by some individuals on whom ESDs are used. We just went over this, sorry. Where we actually left off, sorry folks, it's been an extraordinarily long day. Response. The FDA agrees with the commenter that in some cases the behaviors exhibited by the individuals with SIB or AB are extreme and could cause serious injury to the individual or their caretaker. It's something that they like to do. They like to hammer home the shock factor, folks. They love their shock factor, but here's the thing in regards to said shock factor, it still doesn't excuse blatant torture. The Hippocratic oath of do no harm exists for a reason, and 100% the JRC is violating it every single day. As stated in the proposed rule, SIB commonly includes head banging, hand biting, excessive scratching and picking of the skin. However, SIB can be more extreme and result in bleeding, broken, and even protruding bones, blindness from eye gouging or poking, or other permanent tissue damage or injuries from swallowing dangerous objects or substances. All of this is true. Remember, I had two. God help me, I had favorites. My first was to slam with all of my might, which in a full-on autistic meltdown is very considerable. My hairbrush bristles down, slammed into the top of my head at my full strength over and over and over and over again until the blood came and shocked me out of it. Okay? Number two, the traditional just punching the walls. That's particularly, I'm famous for doing that in regards to when I'm in full on meltdown. Okay? Another one was body slamming. I did a lot of self body slamming on the floor, as hard as I humanly could throw myself down on the ground. Okay? This is in regards to the SIB that like they're talking about here. In spite of having engaged in all of these behaviors, I was never put on a skin shock device. Pretty much almost all of them have stopped entirely. The few that linger on happen so rare as to be a non-entity and does not in any way interfere with me leading my own life. See how that works? Don't let them railroad you with the constant severe, extreme, severe, extreme, severe, extreme. Because no matter how extreme the behavior may be, and I am not sitting there telling you to not think about the danger, I am telling you to use your damn head. At the end of the day, does that justify torture? Does it? Can you legitimately say that that is medicine? If you cannot answer that question honestly, there's some life decisions you need to be thinking about. Okay? I understand that some of these parents are actually parents at risk. I do not take that lightly. But this playing Russian roulette with your child's future because nobody's out there guiding parents properly in the state of Massachusetts, apparently. I'm eyeballing you, school system. You see what I mean, right? AB involves repeated physical assaults and can be a danger to the individual's, others, or property. I did so much property damage that I thank God every single day I was never sued. Thankfully, it was always my property. But yeah. We referred in the proposed rule to a JRC submission that states a link between SIB and death. Gee, you think, Captain Obvious? Literally everything we do, including the things that we never refer to as self harm, but very much are, can indeed lead to death. I do find it interesting that you can legitimately argue that alcoholism and engaging in overindulgence could be considered self injurious behavior. I could argue it very well because, well, I've done it. That's right, folks. How do you think I became an alcoholic in the first place? You can consider someone who is maybe addicted to narcotics or other types of drugs that every one of us has drilled into our head since we went through grade school can kill you. Okay? Again, thank you very much, Captain Obvious. But we are hardly the only ones out there engaging in SIB. The difference is when we do it, we get an SIB label. When you are out there getting shit faced 24/7 in order as a means to cope with reality, I can argue that is self injurious behavior. You have some alcoholics who very much are the extreme. Would the answer at any point be to strap a device on that person and shock them just below the lethal limit in order to get them to stop drinking so detrimentally? If the answer is no, then why is it that those of us who are autistic, who have the more out there for the world to see SIBs, why is it okay to treat us in that sort of way? Thus, the FDA has taken into account the extremity of behaviors associated with SIB or AB. Probably said this to shut the JRC up, but you see where I'm going with on all of this, folks, right? Quit using behaviors as an excuse to torture disabled people. Full stop. It's not complicated. It's clear as day. We're going to close on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit those comments. I do appreciate your time tonight. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next minute.